Hello and welcome back to English pronunciation, American English pronunciation as a standard. Today we're going to be talking about V's, like in vice and avocado and wave. But first I want to deal with a couple of things that have come up. Some of you said, will you speak more slowly? Yes, I will. I understand that I was speaking a little too fast for some listeners. So yes, I will try to speak more slowly this time. Certainly the pronunciation, the people who are going to pronounce, they do speak more deliberately. But in lecture, yes, I will speak more slowly. And thank you for that, for telling me that. In addition, some people have said, why do you call it standard American English pronunciation? What's a standard? That's a really good question. The word is sort of used kind of informally to sort of mean what a lot of people will understand. If you wanted to say, instead of standard, if you wanted to say politically dominant, that too would be correct. Basically what I'm aiming for here is to teach you the way of speaking and of pronouncing sounds that is used by news anchors, that is, people who present the news. And in the United States, the news is always presented on TV, the evening news at 6:30 p.m. So those news anchors, whether they're from the major networks, ABC, CBS, NBC, PBS, or they're on CNN.com, those news anchors have actually been trained because they're speaking to so many people, not just Americans, but Canadians and people in Central America and anybody who gets an American feed. Those people have been trained. When they come up to be anchors, they are sent to basically anchor school, which means that they go somewhere and they are taught so that their regional accents are stripped away. If they speak with a Boston accent, instead of park the car in the yard, because remember Americans use their R's, if instead in a Boston accent they say pack the car in the yard, that will be stripped away. They will learn how to use their R's, how to pronounce R's. If they instead speak with a Southern accent and they say ah instead of I, as in I am okay, I'm okay, that too they will be taught to pronounce an I as a diphthong, I. So that's what I'm presenting to you, is that kind of standard, if you want, politically dominant language, so that other English speakers, even if they don't come from your part of the world, even if they don't come from America, they will be able to understand you, because what we're looking for is the greatest intelligibility, that is understanding, the greatest understanding by the greatest number of people. Okay? Let's get started on V's. Okay, V is like F. A lot of people know how to pronounce F, right? F, you put your teeth down to your lower lip, like that, and f, f. You push a lot of air forward, fast, effort, weft, physical, even though that's a PH, f, f, f. V is actually, in terms of how you structure it, it's the same kind of thing, except that you're using less air. Remember when we did THs, if you remember back that far, to episode 1.1. We did THs as soft and strong THs, so that strong THs, moth, press a lot of air in, whereas soft THs, breathe. Very little air is there. You're pressing very little air forth so that you get that vibration on your tongue. This is the same thing. You could call it strong F and soft V, because you're doing the same thing. You're putting this lip down up to your teeth and saying v, v, so that you feel a vibration on your lip, but other people hear sort of a hum or a buzz, and that's what tells them you are pronouncing V. This is really important for people for whom, for example, Spanish is their first language, because in Spanish, V's, V, and B's, B, B, are practically interchangeable. Okay, they sound basically the same. But for us, B, 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 is very different from V, v, because you're not using both lips, like ba, like B, ba, ba. You're using instead one lip and your teeth. V, v. So now we'll have somebody pronounce V words for you accurately. Go ahead and watch that, and I'll be back. Bye-bye.
Volcano, heaven, wave, van, shaving, sleeve, vest, driveway, glove, valley, travel, 5, vampire, carnival, brave, vowel, 70, love, vote, driver, olive, volleyball, cover, expensive, video, invite, receive, vent, clover, shave, vanilla, advice, stove, vegetable, level, above, vaccine, river, forgive, village, beverage, remove, verbal, flavor, achieve, Valentine, evening, improve, value, invent, alive, vapor, discover, decisive, vitamin, avocado, microwave. Place the avocados above the stove so their flavor vapor levels improve.
Hi, welcome back. Wanted to stress one thing to you before you leave, and that is those final V's. Those final V's as in wave, love, give. You really need to stress those fairly strongly so that people can understand that's what you actually mean. You mean the V word or the V sound. Because if you don't say wave, people might think you said this word. Or this word. Or that word. Wade, way, way. So you need to pronounce that V and really hold on to it for a little bit before you actually leave the word, so that your listener will be able to understand that a V is what you mean. Because remember, in English, the speaker carries the burden of pronouncing things well enough so that the listener can understand. All right, that's it for V's. The next one, we'll be doing W's. So we'll be working on W's, which is sometimes the sound that in some languages really doesn't occur. So it'll be something new for you. So practice your V's, and I will see you next time. Bye-bye.